How's it going, everyone? The year is 2015, but for some reason I feel like I have been sent back in time to the year 2001, when Sega ended the Sega Dreamcast's life. The reason I feel this way is because despite the fact that it is indeed the year 2015, I am holding a new Sega Dreamcast game that was released this year called Ghostblade. Ghostblade is a vertical shooter that was released by HughCast on September 27, 2015. I had pre-ordered it a while back, and it finally arrived about a week and a half after the game came out. And I meant to do a review on it sooner, but didn't get around to it till now. But if you want to see full gameplays of me playing Ghostblade, I'll have the links in the description. Okay, before I start talking about Ghostblade, I need to talk about some major controversy surrounding this game's release. I was talking to Jared over at Project COE, and he told me about controversy surrounding this game, which I didn't know about until after he told me about it. And he also did a review on Ghostblade, and if you want to see it, the link is in the description. After he told me, I went and read up on it, and Ghostblade was originally announced in April 2013 with a limited collector's edition pre-order print run of 300 copies that was later increased to 500 copies. And Ghostblade was supposed to be released in late 2013, got delayed by over 2 years, and only came out on September 27th of this year, like I already mentioned. And when the game was released, only the regular and limited edition versions were made available at launch, and the collector's edition only started being shipped recently. So anyone who ordered the collector's edition back in 2013 not only had to wait over 2 years to get the game, but they had to wait even longer just to get their collector's editions, and that's definitely less than stellar customer service. But on top of all the delays, Ghostblade's Caravan and Time Attack modes were removed from the final version of the game, and considering all the delays, that's disappointing. Anyway, enough talking about the negatives. I'll now start talking about Ghostblade. Alright, Ghostblade is a spaceship shooter that features 5 stages and 3 different ships to choose from. And each ship features a different firing pattern and control speed, and the green ship, which is the fastest, is my personal favorite. Ghostblade also features a training mode and a novice mode, which is designed for newbies that are just getting into shooters, and the novice mode is really easy to conquer because when you're hit by enemy fire, instead of dying, a screen clearing bomb automatically activates, which saves your life. But if you run out of bombs and you take a hit, you die. And this is an interesting feature, but in truth, even though the normal mode does offer a decent challenge, but honestly it's not that hard to beat, but that's fine because it's a blast to play. One distinct feature Ghostblade does have is it's the first indie shooter on the Dreamcast that offers a 2-player co-op mode, and that's pretty awesome. And it makes Ghostblade even more fun. Ghostblade has been heavily advertised as a vertical shooter, and it features a 4x3 vertical mode. And for those of you with vertical monitors, you can play the Tate mode, which is considered the superior way to play Ghostblade. Ghostblade's story is you are ordered to destroy a rogue artificial intelligence and destroy all the enemies that get in your way. Okay, getting straight into the gameplay, you need to make it through 5 stages fighting off herds of enemies and defeating a boss at the end of each stage, which is pretty standard gameplay for shooters, but there is strategy to the gameplay. First, as I mentioned earlier, each ship has its own firing pattern and control speed, but each ship also has a concentrated shot that causes far more damage, but it also slows your ship down, and to survive you'll constantly have to switch between your normal and concentrated shots. And if you get cornered, remember to use the screen clearing bomb. Another interesting feature is, with the concentrated shot, is when using it, destroyed enemies will drop tech orbs, and as you collect them, a gauge on the left hand side of the screen will fill, and when it's full you'll get an additional screen clearing bomb, which will come in handy on the later stages, especially stage 4, which gets pretty intense. The scoring system works in 2 different ways. The first is when you destroy an enemy, you collect yellow stars, which will boost your score, and the second is a combo chain system, and how it works is, for every enemy you kill within a certain amount of time, the higher your combo meter gets, which will increase your score. But if you die, your combo meter goes right back to 0. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the graphics and overall presentation of Ghostblade. On one hand, Ghostblade does look pretty good. There are some really nice looking pre-rendered backgrounds, and they look really nice and high resolution, and the enemy designs and animations look really good. but some of the bosses are a mixed bag. While the bosses themselves look good, but only 3 of the bosses are fully animated, while the other 2 only have partial animation. And I find the final boss is a bit underwhelming. I found the enemy green and pink bullets can blend in with the backgrounds, and it can be difficult to see at certain points, especially when using the spread shot ship. I find the screen clearing bomb animation is kind of a bit on the weak side, and I feel more work could have gone into making a better looking explosion. The stages themselves, while they look good, but there seems to be an inconsistency in what design the developers were going for. Stage 1 has some nice background animations, but Stage 2 through 5 doesn't really have any background animations, but instead use some minor lighting effects, like Stage 1 has. And Stage 3 has cloud backgrounds that don't even animate, but if you look at these stills of the game in its alpha build, and if you look at the original trailer, which I will have a link to in the description, there were originally some cool water animations, which looked pretty good but maybe still needed some work, but they were replaced in the final version and I don't know why. I'm not sure why these changes happened, but it seems the developers were having trouble deciding on a constant design for the game's levels. Things can get pretty intense on screen with lots of explosions and it can cause the game to have some slowdown, but the slowdown mostly happens on Stage 3 where there are some pretty large enemies, but Stage 3 is also curiously like only 2.5 minutes long, which is the same length as Stage 1, but that's strange considering levels 2 and 4 and 5 are approximately 5 minutes each. If you play Ghostblade in Tate mode, unfortunately there will be more slowdown, especially when triggering a screen clearing bomb, which is a shame because this is considered the superior way to play Ghostblade in. The sound effects are pretty standard, but they sound pretty good, but the music is excellent. It is a techno soundtrack that really adds to the gameplay, and it was composed by Raphael Gil, who also did the music for Gunlord and Fast Striker and several other games. Ghostblade is compatible with the VMU and can be used with the arcade stick, so for any of you lucky enough to have a Dreamcast arcade stick, give it a whirl with Ghostblade. It will give you the arcade style experience. Okay, in closing, Ghostblade, despite all the drama with the game's release, it is a really good game, and it's a blast to play, but given that there are only 5 stages, and the fact that stages 1 and 3 are only half the length of the others, there just isn't that much content here, and the training and novice modes are certainly good, especially for new players, and the co-op mode certainly helps to add to replayability, and getting to try 3 different ships with different weapons can keep you busy, but it just feels a bit light on content. I really wish more was here, and while you can save your high scores, and score junkies will of course chase after the highest score possible and try to do a 1cc, but with no online leaderboards, it leaves gamers wanting more. Ghostblade is a really good game, and I really enjoyed it, and I certainly will be playing it again, and I recommend you guys to pick this one up, and the fact that we're still getting new games for the Dreamcast in 2015 is awesome. I give Ghostblade a final score of 8 out of 10. I will talk to you guys later. This is the Entertainment Wizard, signing off.